roll your heart if you don't already. It's time to start, 'cause nothing's gonna work out until you do. Hello and welcome to the Soulful Valley podcast, Tracy May.
Hi, Katie. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's amazing to have you on the show. Tracy's another one of our authors in the book Entangled No More, which we are launching on the 9th of September at 9 a.m. Tracy, this has been a bit of a journey, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Tracy first.
I know I signed up.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think
ahead.
it was last November. Was it last November?
Yes, November. Yes.
Can you remember how you ended up in the book?
Well, I received an email from you in November that said, I saw either you saw something on Facebook or I think you signed up for one of my free offers and you got my email. And so you sent me an email. Then you sent me an email and said, I would love to have you in this book. Are you interested? And described a little bit about how it was about toxic women and, women being in toxic relationships and, how they got out of it and stuff like that. And I was like, yes, I would love to. So that's how I met you.
And it was really strange for me, because what happened from my perspective was I received this email from you that really pulled at my heart and my soul, because you're a relationship coach. That is what you do, isn't it? And the way this email was worded felt like you should have been writing in this book. But when I looked at, I didn't recognize your name on the email. And when I looked at it, it wasn't my current name. It was my old name from about 1.5 years ago. So I must have signed up for something a long while back to have been on your email list. So it was just a bit unusual that here you are, you just popped in at just the right time. And I asked you, and I don't normally do that to people who come into my email on a from their email list, but I really felt that with you, and then you joined, and it was all exciting, and you jumped in and you got your chapter. I was amazed at how quickly you got that chapter in, because other people had been struggling with submitting this chapter, even writing, and had changed, pulled out. I had 11 applications from people who applied but then didn't take the next step. So the journey was quite scary for me. And at one point then, I think you thought, what's going on? Where is everybody? Is this book going to launch?
Yeah.
Tell me how that felt for you.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating because I was so excited, right, to get my story out and to be an author, because that is a dream of mine. Like, I plan on doing hopefully some solo books, not just one. And that was my plan. And so when I had this opportunity to do this chapter with you on a subject that's so near and dear to my heart, I was like, this is my opportunity to practice writing, because I've never written anything before, really. And so I was super, super excited and like, oh gosh, I'm so ready to get my story out there. And then, we were supposed to launch in spring, and then that got kind of pushed back, and, really wasn't knowing what the dates and stuff were. So yeah, it was a little frustrating and like, is it ever going to happen? But then, I was like, I need to just trust divine guidance. Like, I've been called to do this book. It's going to publish at the time that's in the best and highest good for all of us, including me. And so I just kind of tried to feel into that, to not let my frustration take over and be like, oh, forget this book. I don't know what these people are doing, because, I didn't know you at all.
No. And I
so,
started
yeah,
to I started to feel that myself at that point. What's happening? Is this going to happen? And I had other people saying to me, "Oh,
yeah,
you're not going to get enough people that are going to want to write chapters about these toxic relationships because it's difficult to write about this." And we did finally. There are 20 of us who have
yeah.
written chapters, and it's happening. So, Tracy, can you share with us a bit about your story and your chapter without giving too much away?
Really well, I'm a toxic love recovery coach, so I help women heal from toxic, abusive, narcissistic relationships. And since I've been in several toxic, abusive, narcissistic relationships, I have, I've lived it. I know what it takes to get out of it. And so that's where my strength is. That's what my calling is to really be helping women through this. My mission is to eradicate abuse in relationships, one woman at a time. And so my book is really about my struggle of my last relationship that I was in, because it was over 20 years that I was stuck in this relationship, trying to fix it and not realizing what was really going on underneath, which was the narcissistic part of my partner, my husband, and my codependent patterns that kept me wanting to get him to change to love me. And so the book is kind of about that journey of, how I really tried and tried and tried, and how it went from not very much abuse to abuse almost every day. So just kind of the overall path that the relationship took, and I kind of chose to write about that because I wanted other women to know they're not alone in that struggle, and hoping that they can relate to, oh gosh, I've been through that stuff that happened to me, or something like that happened to me, so that they can feel and know that they can get out of this toxic relationship. So I hope that answers your question.
It does, and that's so important. And I really connected with your chapter because I've read them all. And there were lots of bits and pieces of your chapter that related to me and my life and my past relationships. So I really felt that really deeply. And I know that there are going to be lots of women that are going to feel your story. And I think as well, it's so important that we share this way so authentically, because they're gonna relate to you in a way that they might not, there are lots and lots of coaches out there, aren't there? And there are there's lots of support, maybe based around theory, but people that have actually walked this journey, come through the other side, and know what's going on underneath on an energetic level. That's something that mainstream doesn't talk about. You won't hear about this in counselling sessions. So your story is so important in this book. So thank you for sharing. How can people come and find you if they want to work with you?
A couple ways. They can go to the URL, which is talkwithtracymay.com, and that will take them to a free Heal Your Heart breakthrough session opportunity, where they can sign up to have a session with me, and we can talk about what's going on in their relationship and help them know their next steps of how either to get out of the relationship or still continue to live in the relationship, because some women need to do that for different reasons. And I, in fact, healed while I was in my toxic relationship, the last one. And so I know, I'm well versed in all the struggle around it. And then the other way to reach me is on my website at fiercelyempowered.com.
Thank you, Tracy. Is there anything else you'd like to share with me today?
I just want anyone listening to know you're not alone. There is help. All you have to do is reach out and tell someone what's going on, because I know the statistics around abuse are 1 in 4 women are abused, but the truth is it's more like 2 in 4 or 3 in 4, because emotional, verbal, psychological, sexual and financial abuse are usually not reported. And I myself was in a physical abusive relationship, and I never reported it. So the statistics are not even close to what's really going on in the world and how much abuse women, mainly I focus on women, and some men are, men are abused too. Not saying that they are not. But it's mostly women, and they're suffering. And so the children are suffering. And so reach out, get help, even when it feels really scary and like there's no solution, like, even when it feels like you can't go from barely surviving to thriving, you just need the support of someone who can help you. And I'd love to help you.
Thank you, Tracy. You can find Tracy's chapter in the book when we release it on the 9th of September. And please do come and support our launch in the Launch Support Facebook group. You can find that now at www.entanglednomore.com and pop in and say hi.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time today, Tracy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
So ask yourself, is this for